So this is another episode of Totally Detailed, and we have Matt Green here from Myson Detailing. Introduce yourself, Matt. How are you doing?
How you doing, Richard? Yeah, I'm all good, thanks. Yeah, it's Matt here, Myson Detailing, based in Burton on Trent, Staffordshire. On my own kind of thing, doing it by myself. So,
Unusual name. Tell me, obviously, first of all, how do people get hold of you on social media? Do you have
yes,
LinkedIn or Instagram or anything like
that? Facebook, Instagram, and website, and then Google and everything. A lot of people visit the Google, my business kind of thing, and we're all on there. Sort of a lot of word of mouth as well. So people have passed on the details, and I get a lot of sort of work that way, really.
Excellent, good.
Yeah.
So, unusual name, Myson Detailing. Is there any reason behind that name?
I wanted my main drive is my children. I've got twins, boy and girl twins, called Maya and Jensen. So the name is half of their names, sort of Maya, M-Y, and then Jensen, it's the S-O-N.
All right.
It's just sort of something that was a bit unique and sort of meaningful to me. Because I was struggling to find a name at the beginning. There's so many different names out there, and it was just like, oh, everybody had the same sort of name, and I just wanted sort of something that was personal. That's it. So
it is
Myson.
I can say getting that name is it's quite important, isn't it? And it's getting that nobody can copy.
That's it.
And it's you see it so many times with people, this detailer, that detailer, and they've all got the same name, and it's like surely somebody could have thought of something a little more unique, that's more meaningful to them as individuals personally. Like that one again, it's like with our other company, Roborns. That again is a bit like you say there with your twins. The Rob side of it is my wife's maiden name, Robson, and Orns is my middle name, is Osborne, which is my granddad's my mum's maiden name. So Roborns put together, which is a very unique name. There's no surnames in the world with Roborns, and it's a very, very unique name. And it's because it's part of my wife's maiden name and part of my mother's maiden name, and my granddad's name. And that's why we sort of carried that on for that sort of business and brand, because it carried on both generations of both families. So it was, to us, it means quite a great deal. It's like,
that's it.
Yeah, it's got a lot of meaning to it. And it's something people can't steal because it's extremely unique. It's a made up name.
The only thing I've seen Myson on is in plumbers, merchants, where I've seen I think radiators and stuff. And that's about it, really. But it was just something unique to me. Like, I just wanted the twins to be involved. So
definitely.
So that's how we created Myson Detailing back in. Officially opened in April 2016.
All right. Some time then.
So some time ago, and it was the location. We managed to find a unit straight away. It was right next door to the school for the children, so I could do the school run while my partner was working and everything. So it just all worked perfectly, really.
That's good. And so, do you reckon the kids will be involved in the business when they're old enough?
No. They come down now and again, and I don't like them touching any of the chemicals. Keep them out of the way. But they do like to see the vehicles that are here. And I have to tell them to, if they have a bit of a mad moment where they run around or something, I'm like, come on, calm down. Keep away from that. Don't touch that.
Definitely.
Or when the lift's empty, they'll like to stand on the lift and send the lift up and down with them on. That's about it.
Good, isn't it? So,
well, apart from that, they're getting the 12 now, so they're getting on. So they're like they're sort of finding their own paths a bit with going to high school and stuff. So
it's you never know, they might have that passion for cars. And
my lad's got the passion for the cars. He likes to go to like the car meets and stuff like that with me now and again. But my daughter now, she's into her art. She is. So
really,
so
similar sort of thing, though, isn't it? You've got to be very sort of, it's almost sort of very arty, bringing a car back to life. You've got to.
It is,
about what you're doing. So it's similar sort of.
With the
art side of it. So it's it's, you know, it's like when I was at school, it's the only thing I was good at school was cooking and pottery, art, you know, so that's what I was good at. And it's, I've been good with my hands and sort of thinking things through, and that sort of followed through with our businesses that we've had with the detailing and the leather side of it. So it's a similar sort of thing, and it's always sort of, it's had that passion. I think it's very important to deliver that quality. You've got to have, you've got to love what you do.
Exactly. Yeah. You've definitely got to do that. And I think sometimes it can be a downfall because you're always striving to do that much better for everybody.
Yeah.
And you end up, you've got something booked in and it's only in for that, but you can't just do that. You've got to just do that a little bit more because you just want that little bit more of a reaction and stuff. And then sometimes it can take over a bit and you do sort of miss something obvious. And you don't see it till the last minute until they're turning up and you're like, oh my God, how did I miss that? And I've just spent like 2 more hours on something else I shouldn't have done really. But we're only human, aren't we? So
definitely. So what was it you did before the detailing in 2016?
I left school straight into engineering, got an apprenticeship as a sheet metal worker. We were sort of, there weren't that many of us after that. I think it was only 12 in our college class. And I did 4 years college, time served, like tank basher really. We used to build all the vessels for like the breweries and the pharmaceutical and beverage and just all over. Our company then got bought out, and we went into like the process pipe work, so stainless steel pipe work systems, process engineering. So we were doing a bit of everything. We were doing like building the vessels, but then piping it all up. More and more of that on site, really.
Yeah.
But the company that bought into us was an electrical firm, so we were doing like the electrical side. They were doing the electrical side. We were doing the installation and all that. And I was there on and off in the same. I left and went to a few different companies, which you do. And you're chasing the pound. They all pay £1 an hour more, or somebody's got a bigger job on, and you used to sort of flip between a few. And I did that up until 2015. And then previous to that, in early 2000, I lost my brother.
Yeah.
And I lost the circumstances how he died. It took till the following year to get his body released. So in that time, I was a bit like lost. My father had just had a stroke. And while we were waiting for my brother to be sorted out, we lost my granddad and my uncle.
Oh my God.
Before the Christmas of 2002, and then we got him released in the March of the following year, and we buried him on a Friday, and then my best workmate hung himself on the Sunday, and it was just like, everything just went mad, and you sort of work with then sort of, you've got to just crack on and get on with it, which we had to. And then, but it took then in 2015, I went to work and somebody said something to me, and inside, it broke me inside.
Yeah.
And I just had to walk out, and I went on the sick for about 6 months. It was with depression.
Yeah.
It was something I never experienced, but I needed to do it because my body was telling me something's not right.
Yeah.
So, but in that time, I'd always had the passion for the cars. From a young age, my father being used to build engines and stuff and rebores and stuff, and was always around cars and always had a passion for them. And I always wanted to do something. So after 6 months, and I sort of spoke to a few people, and they says, you've got to do something that you love doing. So we found the unit, and my dad came down, had a look. I brought him down, and he was only coming down for a look, just to have a nose at it. And then the next day he rang me up and says, what are you doing about the unit? And I says, why? He says, well, you having it or what? And he says, look, we'll pay first month's rent. Let's get it going and go from there. So that was it. Sort of went from there then.
Blimey.
So, yeah. So then it was just a matter of, it was dragged everything in from home, little table, and you sort of set up, and then you you think, oh shit, excuse the language,
Yeah,
we've got to find the customers.
Yeah.
And it was then like finding customers, but I was doing it around the school hours because I was doing the school runs, so I was getting valets booked in and stuff like that, and just trying to grow. Luckily, a local guy to us, I tapped him up for his Nissan GTR, and he already had somebody booked in to do it. So I did his. He bought a Civic Type R. It was very pink, and I said to him, I said, I don't think it's going to come back up. I said, I can make it glossy pink. And he says, yeah, just do what you can. So he brought that down and sort of snowballed from there, really. Yeah. So, yeah, just over 5 years now.
That's amazing, isn't it? It's but I mean, obviously, you're sort of touching on the sort of depression, mental health side there. It's amazing how many detailers and valeters and things that we know that sort of suffer from that. I mean, obviously, how important did you find it to obviously, you know, with what was sort of said to you to that day that sort of made you break? Been something that was sort of boiling up? Was it because of the deaths of the family members and things that caused that, or was it just something? And how did you get over it? You know, what did you do to get over it? Obviously, we have a mental health charity that we, you know, I'm a, you know, an executive of, and it's something that we started, and it's something that's very passionate to me as well, as making sure that people, you know, are safe and that their mental health state of mind, you know, is good. And if I can help somebody, then I'll help as much as I can. And obviously, it's good to hear these sort of stories from people because it helps others as well. And it's to know how you sort of got over that.
I think it just was like a boiling point, really, because of my father having the stroke.
Yeah.
Me and my sister had to then, he lived alone, and we were sort of sharing the take care of him in the beginning.
Yeah.
So sort of your lives are turned upside down then, because it's sort of, I was sort of stopping there at the beginning when he was really, really bad and he couldn't move about as much. It was taking him to the toilet, etc., etc. But you just sort of got on with it. And then when I went to work, some of the lads could see I was tired, so they'd say, "You'll have an extra 10 minutes on break or something. Just get your head down for a bit," and it helped that way. But then it just built up over the years. It's sort of, I was always having to make sure everybody else was happy. I was then going to my mum, nipping around to see her, and then she was sort of, when she was down, I was trying to keep her up, and then go to my dad, and when he was down, trying to make sure he was up, make sure my sister was all right. But then when I went home on my own, I was like alone, and nobody was sort of there to sort of say, "Are you okay? How are you getting on?" And it just, and then I'd have a problem with somebody else, so I'd be like trying to keep them up. And even people have said to me, says, "We always just thought you were all right because you were always smiling." And I think that day when I was just welding away on this skid unit, and this guy moved his car without, in the wrong sort of time. He should have done it at the break time.
Yeah.
The guy in charge just shouted, "Who's told you to do that?" And he pointed at me, and then he just flipped on me, and just because he thought I had overruled something he'd said.
Yeah.
But I never. I just says I wouldn't do that. And it just all escalated, and then inside I just sort of broke inside, and I didn't know what to do. Never felt the feeling before. Lasted about an hour on the shop floor, and then I just walked off, and the guy who originally kicked off said to me, "What's up with you?" And I just says, "That's it, I'm done, you've broke me." And I just went to the canteen, took my overalls off, took my boots off, grabbed my bag and walked home. The missus didn't know what to say. She just says, "Come in and just chill out for a bit and relax and see what." And then that was it. We went to the doctors, and they tried to sort of put you on tablets. And I said, "I don't want any tablets. I just need to sort out what's happened and find a solution." So that was it then. But the release of leaving that job, the day that I left and was officially finished, I went in with my head down, and came out with my head on my like standing up, and I felt so much more. Because I'd not really had, even though I'd worked with these people for 20 odd years, in the first month or so, only a certain few ever contacted me to see if I was all right. But then the pressure of if I went back, and walked in that door, they'd all be like, "Way, where you been? What you been up to?" And it's like that pressure. I just thought, well, you haven't bothered about me.
Exactly.
For months. Why now? So now I can just I talk to the ones that I like to talk to and stuff. So yeah. So then we created this really.
Yeah.
And then I've created a sort of a new sort of bunch of friends from it. I've made friends and looked into other people's lives and seen what they're doing and how they're doing, and got some.
It's surprising when something happens like that. You find out who really are your friends, sort of thing, who are there for you. It's very difficult. I've been there myself in that position. And I was sort of at the point where I don't know what it was. One day I was at the factory unit, like you were saying, trying to please everybody, working all hours God send, missing my children growing up, and working all hours, working literally 18, 19 hours a day, literally like a zombie. And I think if I'd have carried on, I would definitely not be here today. And it was at the point where I'd got to the point where it sort of got arguing at home, and I was sleeping on a concrete floor trying to run the business in the freezing cold in the middle of winter at the factory unit, because I didn't want to come home, because I didn't want to argue, didn't want the kids to see me arguing with their mum and stuff like that. So I slept on the floor, ate microwave meals, basically ate crap, and it was at the point where I was literally at the point of where I was going to kill myself. And the phone rang, and it was about 2:00 in the morning. And I'm one of those where I'll always get the phone if I'm at work. And I've learned now, just switch off. When it gets to like 4:30 when we're closing, the phone rings, gone that. We switch off. That's it. It's gone. And I answered the phone. And this guy answered the phone, and it was like 2:00 in the morning. And he was from London, and he wanted me to go round and repair his couch there and then. And I said to him, "Are you for real?" He's like, "I beg your pardon, that's not professional." I said, "It's 2:00 in the bloody morning, mate." He said, "Excuse me, but don't bloody mate me." I'm like, "But it's 2:00 in the morning." He said, "I'm in London. London never sleeps." I said, "I don't care. I sleep." And it was that phone call that sort of woke me up. And I realized that, I had to do something, because I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? Why am I even picking the phone up at 2:00 in the morning? Why am I arguing with this fool, basically, that is ringing, expecting me to go into a couch at 2 in the morning? And I'm like, "I'm in Yorkshire, you're in London." He's like, "I don't care where you are." And I'm like, do you have no thought for other people? And it was that really woke me up. And if he hadn't have rung that day, I don't know who he was. If he hadn't have rung, I'd have probably not be here. So I was at that point where I was at such a low, because everybody thought I was okay, because I always had a smile.
Yes, that's it.
And everybody thought I was okay because I had a smile all the time. And nobody said to me, "How are you?" Yeah. And I'm sort of talking like, 20 years ago now or more. So it's, it's when it was, well, it would have been probably about 18 years ago. So my youngest would have been about 1 year old, 2 years old, maybe. So maybe 17, 18 years ago. The eldest would have been, she's 23 now. So, she'd have been like sort of 5 or 6, but I just didn't want them listening to mum and dad arguing, because the eldest one was always like, "What's going on? What's going on? What's the matter, Dad? What are you shouting at?" And I thought I had to do something. So people don't realize how that affects, and especially detailers, you're always working on your own.
Yeah.
That you've got, because you're sort of working on your own environment, you've got nobody to talk to. And it's very important, isn't it? It's having
it's having that to be able to reach out to people without them getting annoyed with you.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can reach out to your family and stuff, but it's not the same. You sort of need that sort of somebody else.
Yeah.
And I've got a good bunch around me now that check in.
That's it.
But it still gets lonely. Sometimes the jobs get on top of you.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
But luckily the customers with I've just had a recent death in the family, and the customers have been very understanding.
Yeah.
And they said, look, the one at the moment, he says, if I rang you up ranting and raving, he says, where will it get me? He says, it'll just annoy you even more.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yep.
Annoy you even more.
Exactly.
He says, there's no need for it. He says, I know you're going to get it done. And he says, I'll just crack on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I used to do it when I was a teenager, always ring up ranting and raving at companies. But now I've learned, with having our own business, talk to me properly, you'll get a much better answer. So when I ring, I've got a complaint with people, I'll go through the complaint, I'll talk to them, I'll discuss it, and I find I get a far better result from it and far better reward from it, from talking to them and not shouting them, because it's not their fault at the end of the day that something's gone wrong, because it's not them personally that's picked the phone up. So I talk to them sensibly, which is how I expect people to talk to me if they've got a problem, and we can resolve it. Pointless
exactly.
shouting at me, because if you're going to shout at me, I'm not going to deal with you. When you calm down, come back to me and I'll talk to you, and it's dealing with it, in an appropriate way. And it's like, with the sort of depression and mental health side of it, it's like the worst thing someone can say to you is, oh, come on, man up, get over it.
Yeah. That's what even a lot of people used to say. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of the worst things you can actually say to somebody. It's, it's one of the worst. So, but it is a lonely place being a detailer. And I don't think some customers really understand how lonely that can be, because you're sort of, you're always on your own, almost 24/7, doing stuff. And you've got no one to talk to other than you're talking to yourself. And I mean, I used to do it all the time, and my wife would be like, who the hell are you talking to? I'm talking to me.
Yeah. I'm having a staff meeting.
Yeah. That's it's like, what on earth do you mean? She's like, I can hear you rabbiting away. And I'm like, I'm just talking to myself about what I'm doing with the car. She's like, there's nobody listening. Are you gone mad? I'm like, no, I'm just talking to myself. And I'm just reassuring myself what I'm doing and giving myself that confidence. Do you know what I mean? To sort of get that job done. And I do it still now when I'm doing the leather work. I'll be doing a car and I'll be down the other end, and then Carolyn will message me. She's like, are you on the phone with somebody? No. Who have you got down there? Nobody. Who are you talking to? I'm talking to me. Like, you are? And I'm like, I'm talking to myself. I'm just talking through the job.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to leave you to it then. I don't want to. I don't need to know. But you do. It's just you sort of get in that. It gives you the confidence, because you're there working on your own, doing something, and it just gives you that confidence to do it. And it's good to sort of have that confidence built up, and it's so that you can sort of transform things. I mean, talking about transforming, there was a picture I saw on Facebook. I mean, you can tell us all about it. It wasn't a car you transformed. What was it yourself? Tell us about that.
Oh, myself.
It was an amazing transformation.
When I met my partner, I was at the gym. I was nice and trim, and then we sort of met, and then like 6 months later, we found out we was having a baby.
Yeah.
Then we found out 12 weeks later we were having twins.
Oh my God.
And then it was like, wow, this is amazing. Yeah. So when they came, and I say I'm an amazing dad. I'm really sort of hands-on.
Yeah.
I used to sort of dote on them all the time, and it was like the going to the gym went out the window.
Yeah.
And it was more of like just kids. It's us and the kids, and that's it. And we're just watching them grow. And it's two of them, so there's a lot of everything, and even down to the feeds at the night. I used to I was the first one to wake up to get them up.
Yeah.
And I used to sit the missus up and take her boobies out and latch one on, and then get the other one and latch the other one and sit there, hold them, burp them, and put them down and pull her legs back, and she used to fall back asleep and carry on. And then she wanted to go back in. She had a managerial position, so she says, like, after maternity, she wanted to go back into thingy. Will I take a year off? And I did, and I took a year out.
Yeah.
But then you're sort of cooking for them, and you're eating biscuits, and the weight has just sort of piled on over time. And it just got to where we were just sort of content with each other, and the kids were growing, and I was growing as well. And all through their primary school, I was a big guy, but doing this job, I never let anything get in my way, kind of thing. It was just you're cracking on. But when I look back and I look at photos, I think, bloody hell, I look a right mess.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes some customers used to think, bloody hell, how's he going to squeeze in the back of there? But I did it. I got on with it. I was a welder by trade, so welders got onto all positions, so I could get into anywhere really. And then the kids started going to high school, and COVID hit. And I remember some of the kids outside when I walked outside, and they looked at me and sort of sniggered a bit. And I was just like, and then my lad said to me, he says, oh, he was laughing at you. He looked at you and he just sniggered because you're a bit big. And then that was it. Then I was like, right, I've got to do something about it.
Yeah.
So we both joined the local slimming world, and from the October last year to May this year, we'd both lost. I think we've done nearly 10 stone now, but we did about 9.5 stone in that time between us. Wow. And we've just sort of maintained now. Still got about another stone to go. But we're just sort of loving it now at the minute. Sort of a lifestyle change, total change of lifestyle, really.
It's amazing. I've always been quite sort of slim as well, and you don't realize, because you get quite complacent with what you're doing. And you sort of don't really watch what you're eating and stuff like that. And it's, even though, you know, I'm quite small in height as well, but what I noticed was when I was looking at videos, we're doing a lot of training. So of course, as we've made more and more videos and sort of outfits have changed with what we were wearing and sort of gone to different outfits, I'm suddenly looking at myself thinking, that belly's getting bigger.
When did we film in widescreen? Like,
exactly. Exactly. And I'm thinking I'm going to need a bigger camera here soon. And it's like, and then I started weighing myself, and I'm like, bloody hell, I'm nearly 13 stone. So then you sort of get on the internet, do a bit of Googling, and it's like, okay, according to the NHS, I'm obese. You know, and I'm like, for my height, you know, and my body mass, it says I'm obese, and I'm like, I'm never obese. So I thought, what did I weigh originally a few years ago? So then I started looking at what I weighed, and I was like 10.5, 10.9, something like that, 10. So I thought, I'm nearly 13 stone. I've got to do something about it. So again, November, in what are we now? 21. So November 20, I decided to start getting fit again. So I literally went from November till about the March time. I think it was March, April. I went from nearly 13 stone right down to about 10, 12, I think it was. And now I'm back up to about 11.7 again. So I'm putting it back on again because lockdown's ended. I've started traveling again and eating rubbish again, crisps and sweets and everything else on the road. So I've now sort of started again, trying to kick back in, and I've lost another pound again. So I've got, it's just, and of course I was going out quite regular on the bike and trying to do running and stuff like that. And I haven't run since I was at school when I was 14, and I'm 53 now. And the first time I did it, last year was like, oh my God, I thought my life was going to end. I did about a mile, and I think it took me about an hour, and I'm like, like this, trying to breathe. And it's like, next morning I couldn't hardly stand up. It was terrible, but it got easier. And it does get easier and easier and easier and stuff like that. So it's, I mean, keeping fit is very important, you know, for your mind as well. It helps everything so much. It changes the way you look. I mean, like when I looked at your photographs, it was like, it's just it's like two different people. It's like, that's your older brother and that's your younger brother. Amazing transformation. It was like, wow. And I know how it makes me feel, and how it makes even my skin feel, and how much happier it makes me feel with just what I've lost. And you know, and looking at your sort of before and after, I can imagine how you feel and how your partner feels. It's, you know, it's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, we've got sort of I'm about a stone or just under a stone back to where I was when we first met. And I'll send you a picture later of our first date, and then to our like most latest date. We're sort of, with a couple of little wrinkles, we're near enough back to how we were.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice, and it's sort of, now the kids are a bit older, we can nip to the gym. And stuff like that. And sort of, we're not cool for them now. They don't want to be
I know. I always went through that stage. It's like, Dad, please don't be stupid. You're not. Look, I'm a teenager. I'm cool. You're not. Please stop it. It's like, so I used to sort of do things even more, just because you could. Just because because you're dad. So
we've even lost the daddy and mummy now. We're dad and mum. It's like, love you, Dad. I'm like, Dad, it's Daddy. It's like, not when we're around school, it's Dad.
Exactly.
At home, it'll be Daddy and that. So.
I know it's very rare. It's like with us, when they went through that stage, it's like, you know, love you, Eloise. Shut up. You know, it's like, I'm at school. Stop it, Dad. Oh, okay. The dad is it. Yeah. You know,
it's, get the death stare. Like,
that's it. Yeah. Look, it's like they're going to kill you. As soon as you get home, like, I'm in trouble when she gets home. Definitely. So with the detailing side of it, what made you, obviously we know what you did before that with the welding, but obviously, you know, we know what made you sort of get into it, but what is it that you like about the detailing? Is there a particular part of it that you like more than the rest of it, or do you just like all of it, or is there a particular car that you prefer to do over others?
It was more the fact of, even when I was doing the engineering side, I used to see lads used to buy bangers. Some of them used to have like these bangers that used to sort of like travel around the country and to go to sighting, because you were trying to save money. You weren't putting wear and tear on your sort of best car. So we used to just travel a lot, and I used to see some of these cars and think, oh, I could clean that up.
Yeah,
I'd love to have that. To have that for the day and just scrub it up. And I bought an old Sierra. This was when I was still an apprentice. I bought an old Sierra off one of the guys, and it was red and it had faded completely. And I took it home, took it to my mates, and he was he worked at Toyota Inchcape, and he was a sort of trainee painter. And we both sort of had a passion. We just like, let's do a line down the middle and polish half of it with teacup, and we'll go back round. And we did. And I nipped back to work to get some tools. Like, we picked up at like 8 o'clock in the morning, like 1 o'clock, we nipped round while it was dinner time. And we drove down one side, and we turned around at the bottom, and it was pink one side and red the other. And they come out and it was like, wow, look at that. And then we went back home and finished it off like.
Aye.
And it was sort of I always like to do that kind of thing. Sometimes it's just a transformation and seeing people's faces, really. And that I've never had a decent car in my later life where I could spend time and do it. I've always done it for sort of customers, really. And I haven't got the time because of my father and that. I have to go around to his and do the shopping and stuff like that. So my time, I never get no time for myself, apart from when we nip to the gym or when I'm in bed, kind of thing. But I won't change it. I've still got my dad. My mum's, she's got my brother's, a couple of my brother's kids living with her, so I know she's all right. My sister's, she's got her grandkids and stuff. So I sort of just flip between my dad, my mum, and everything, and just sort of thing like that. And just, he was there for us when we were growing up and that.
That's it.
Just returning the favour, really.
That's it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's got to do what you got to do. They sort of go into the world, and you got to sort of help them, really, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, they're still here, so it's as simple as that. Yeah. As you know, none of us live forever. No. A strange world if we did, certainly, as we getting older and wrinklier. It'd be a strange one. So, do you use a certain product brand, or you just use any brand, or is there a multitude, or anything you can find that works for you? And
doing the main washing, like the valets and the sort of preparation for the machine polishing, I was going through a lot of, in the beginning, I was just buying like 500ml bottles here and there, trying this, trying that, trying there. And then I got a friend, I got a mate of, I became friends with a valeter, and he says, oh no, he says 5 litres or 25 litres. He says, you'll find it a lot more cost effective. So started getting into that. And then I moved over to like the KKD brand. And I just found that their citrus washer was amazing for Carolay roofs. Snow foam was great and everything like that. And but now I keep venturing out to garage therapy. I really like the garage therapy stuff. But I just I'll buy it if I see it, and I've seen some good reviews about something. I'll buy it and try it. Instead of just like wait. How is it? I'd rather go out and get it, try it, and then find my own sort of review about it, instead of like looking online and seeing what everybody else is like. They either people slate stuff, or they praise it. And I just thought, you know what, I like to just find my own out.
Sure.
And I just do that. And then machine polishing wise, I've got Flex, I've got repairs, and I go through a various amounts of compounds. I always find that some compounds work better than others, and you can sort of have two of the same pads. Do one compound, one heavy cut with one, do same amount of passes, and pick another compound. You can get amazing results. Wipe them both down with some panel prep. and you can get the better results, and it's what you want to achieve at that time. So
yeah, definitely.
I like to have it's like having just to make sure you've got plenty of tools in the box, really, so you're not stuck. But then coating wise, we do ceramic coatings. I became accredited with Nanolink in 2017. James, who was Nanolink at the time, approached me. I went over, did some training, did that with Jordan from Jordan's Detailing World. First time I met Jordan, and did the training with them, and then do their products. And then during the Brexit, it was a bit hard to get some of the products over from Germany, and I was looking at another company to have as alongside Nanolink, and seen Titan, and I was recommended if you can get Titan, get it, because they're a UK sort of based company. And so I do both Titan and Nanolink, because I've got previously coated cars by Nanolink, and I like to keep them, and that's the sort of two I'm sticking with now.
Keep them maintained with the appropriate thing that they're done with. Definitely. So how do you find the Titan compared to Nanolink?
They're both very, very similar, really. They've both got their top end coating. They've both got their sort of lower end coating, and can't really sort of find a difference between them, really. They just do their own thing, what they want to do, and there's some people
to do.
Titan have got one coating that TX155, and it's sort of, they say you don't need any maintenance with it. It's just literally wash your car with shampoo, dry it, and away you go. That's it. You don't put anything on top of it, nothing like that. So some of my customers are like, look, I want it protecting, but I don't want to be maintaining it. I don't want to be having to do this to it, do that to it. So I'll say, like, that's the one for you. And then I get some that are like, oh, I really want to, like, I like to go around it with a finishing spray, and I like to do this, and I like to do that. Well, this one of Nanolink will probably suit you, or this one of Titan will suit you. So it's but it was just trying to keep with Nanolink having the when we had the issues of sort of getting products in. I needed to keep the ball rolling here and keep the customers going, and I wanted something that was as good as Nanolink, and on par with them. So Titan, luckily I got on with Titan.
Yeah, good. So do they do like self-healing ones, the pair of them, or not? Because I know both of the ranges, but I don't know what they do.
No, they do their sort of ceramic coatings. Titans does have some abilities to self-heal, but they don't advertise it, because it's like the customer will then probably go out and try wire brushing it and say, look, we don't do that. So they say, look, it's got some ability, but they just don't push it. It just does what it does. You get a little bit extra.
Imagine wire brush scrubbing away, and it's like it's gone through. What do I do now?
Exactly.
It's even with the ones that self-heal, I'd still be a bit reluctant to even go doing that.
You've got to have, like, your place has got to be like bang on temperature wise, and humidity. With some of them, there's some coatings that I've done in the past which are just, you can sort of within a couple of hours you can sort of let it go. And it's just down to people's budget as well. I try to sort of tailor everything around people's budgets, really. Sorry, I lost you there.
It's all right.
I sort of try and tailor everything around people's budgets. And work with them, really. Then say, this is what you're having. This is all I'm doing. I sometimes like somebody say to me, look, I've only got this much money. What can you do? It's a bit like the website. I've had a website done, and we are trying to sort of create like a sort of sliding scale kind of thing, where like the G-Technic one.
Know what you mean.
Where people can go, I don't really want the interior doing. I'm not worried about the wheels, but I want my screen doing. I want the bodywork doing, so they can sort of see what the charges are going to be. Before you sort of make contact.
At least they can choose.
My website guy's sort of still trying to sort that out at the minute.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
There was a website I was looking at the other day, and there's nothing worse than a website that's not got prices on. And I was only looking at one on Sunday to do with something with the daughter, and I was looking at it with the wife, and for them, so they knew what they were going to be looking at. And I'm like, every one of these websites, not one of them has got a price for this particular course they wanted to do, that she wanted to go on and do. And it's like, none of them have got prices. Why the hell have none of them got prices? It's so annoying, because you've got to inquire. Just put the price on the bloody website,
Yeah.
Make life easy. And it's just, and I don't get it why people have to hide the prices all the time for everything. And it's just the price, at the end of the day, the price is the price. It can't change. That's it, Yes.
Yeah, I've got my price list says like from, say from a certain amount. But then I'll say, look, ideally I need to inspect the vehicle really. I need to sort of go around it myself, pick out anything. The stuff that you might think that can come out with like a minor correction or minor, but it can't, it's too deep and stuff like that. So you sort of need to sort of see what their expectations are of what they think they're going to get, and then sort of say, well, you can't get that with this. It's going to be this. And I don't like to upsell. Which you should do really, it's business, but I like to sort of let them tell me what they want. And I always try and like investigate how do they wash the car and stuff like that. I've had some people come, I want all the works doing on it, everything. I say, okay, how do you maintain your car at the minute? Oh no, for every Friday, I nip round to the hand car wash. Hang it through there. It's done for the week. Then I'm like, well, there's no point you having a coat in it. I says, you're wasting your money. I says, you may as well just have this done. If you're going to do it that way, just go from there. I says, you're just ruining it, really.
Well, it's just a waste of money, isn't it? It's do you still find that you do a lot of cars by hand with waxes rather than coatings, or do you not get involved?
I have some waxes. I have some customers that don't want to spend on coatings, and they just like to have a wax. I do a couple of entry-level valet packages, which is like one with a glaze and one with a like a sealant and a wax. And it's just sort of a budget-friendly one. And it's nice to see because they'll come back every couple of weeks or a few weeks, and they'll come for a maintenance wash, and it's nice to see how the product performs.
Things, can't you, as well?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I do like to change. I used to have a lot of waxes and stuff, but then I've sort of just stuck to a couple now. And it's more sort of just sticking to one or no. Or two, or even spray sealants. I've been listening to a few podcasts, and some of them saying the spray sealants are outlasting the waxes.
A lot of them are. And
sometimes it feels when you're just spritzing something on and wiping it off, that putting a wax on always feels like you're actually putting a layer of something on.
I know exactly what you mean. I'd like to wax a car by hand myself, and it's just even more so than a coating, because it just, I don't know, there's so, I don't know, it's whether it's because I'm old school. I just feel like you say, you're putting something on and you can feel like you're taking something off with a wax, whereas with a coating, you don't really get that same feeling. And it's almost like, is this really it? And then you sort of can't really see it, and you're like, okay, I wipe it off, but I can't really see it. But at least with a wax, you can see what you're sort of putting on. Do you know what I mean? And taking off, and it's, I don't know, it's really strange. I do like to wax a car, and it's, even though yes, I have a car and it's got a coating on. The new VW van, it hasn't got anything done to it yet, other than a quick sort of go around with a mother's pure carnauba stage 3. And that's all I've done to it. I've not done anything, and it does need doing, and it wants something doing to it. But I was going to put a ceramic on it, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm just going to do it traditional, wax it by hand and do it that way, because I like to do it, even though it's a big thing. But I like to do it by hand. I like to wax them, and I sort of get more enjoyment out of doing that than I do a coating. Even though I like doing a coating, I just seem to get more enjoyment out of doing the waxing by hand. I don't know why. It's just maybe
the coatings, you've got to have everything right. You've got to make sure all the preparation's right, and you're following yourself around all the time. And at least with the wax, you can have a quick wipe down. Now I do more of I do a quick spritz with some panel prep or something, just to make sure it's got a clean surface before I put the wax on. And you're sort of there buffing it off. It's nice. You can sort of see the difference straight away. But the coatings, you're there putting it on like in surgery you are really, and then sort of taking it off, and you're chasing around to see if you've got any high spots anywhere, and lights are on, lights are off, and it's up and down on the ramp, and you're forever chasing it. And then the days before we had the ramp in and this lighting, and we've just got some new lighting.
Yeah.
It was, I can remember doing a Scirocco.
Yeah.
And I was doing some correction work on it. And it was late at night, and I'd just done down the side with some, I think it was some LED lights. And then I panel wiped it, thought, yeah, great, looks amazing. And then I thought, I've got some halogen lights in the office. I'll drag them out, put them on. Bloody hell. There's more in it. And you're like, oh no. So you're cracking on another hour later, you're still there, and then you've got to coat it. And but it turned out nice. It was lovely in the end. But you've just got to sort of cover all bases really now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're in your unit now, are you? Yeah?
Yes, I'm just in the unit now.
Got some yeah, good. So are you still doing work on the unit to get things going, or?
Yeah, I'm at the minute. The unit's been like, I've got a champagne vision with a lemonade budget, I call it, where I want to make sure that if anything happened to me and I had to be off, that I've only got to cover the rent and the insurance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not that I've got to get volumes of cars through the door every week to cover.
Yeah.
I've got a massive, I don't know, £1,000 a month just on, because I've borrowed money to put this in. The ramp's paid for. It's all sort of, I can just lock up and sort of not worry. So I'd rather have more time on the vehicles to make sure that the cars that come through the door, I do spend all that time on it. Than just thinking, right, I need to get 5 cars in.
Yes.
I've got to get them 5 through to cover the bills and
definitely
to make X amount of money. I'd rather not be like that and not too much stress.
Yeah.
I have envy of other companies locally. Some of them have got beautiful places, and the Instagram videos are amazing and stuff. But I needed this. We've created like a partition in the middle. A good friend, Brian, he gave up his weekend, and we sort of built a wall, had panelled all the rest of the wall out, repanelled this side, and put all these lights on. One of my customers, he's an electrician.
All right,
got me a good deal on the lights. Bless him.
Yeah.
And it all helped really to create this, but it's still not finished. We've still got to put ceiling across and get across the back wall up here and that done.
It takes time.
I'd rather take another 6 months and not have the worry.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like getting it all done and then thinking I've got to pay X amount back each month.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, really. And the change in this room already, people have come in and gone, wow, it looks amazing.
Yeah, it's all well and good having a business and you've got the most amazing looking unit, but you've got a £30,000 loan to do it.
Yeah.
So then, like you say, you've got to work so much harder to try to cover that loan before you even start earning money, because you've got to pay it back. You know, it's not free. And I think sort of during COVID and things, a lot of people have sort of struggled with stuff like that because they've not had rainy day funds.
Yeah.
You know, and they've been up to their eyeballs in debt with getting factory units going, making it look state of the art. And it's like, I've got this place, I've got that place. It looks like this. It's amazing. The place might look amazing, but do you turn out amazing cars? You know, that's the thing. Yeah. And just because you turn out Ferraris all the time, it doesn't mean you're doing an amazing job. It's, you know, everybody can do great looking videos with technology today, but it's, you know, you might be doing amazing cars, but what you're not telling people is you're literally up to here with debt.
Yeah.
You know, to make that place look nice. Personally, I'd rather pay for things as I go along. And then I know the only person I owe anything to is myself, which is my time, you know, and do it that way. And we've always done it that way with our business. It's taken us many more years to get to where we are compared to somebody that could have gone along and borrowed 100 grand at the beginning. I'd rather do it my way, slowly, and build a better business that way than just go and borrow the money, because I can then say, I did this myself, not the bank did it. I did it, you know, and it sort of gives you that satisfaction that we've done it, not money borrowed from a bank, you know?
It is. It's nice because you can look around and go, yeah, we've done this and we've created something. Like my partner Carrie, she's been amazing, so supportive. If she's had any free time, she's come down, painted. She's organised me cardboard. for recycling and stuff like that, because she's brilliant at that.
That's what you need.
She's always giving that little boost. Look, she even texted me tonight, you're going to do well, baby. I've got, you're going to smash it. It's going to be good.
Exactly.
Don't stress and stuff. So,
and and that's the beauty of it. People get so nervous with these, and it is like you're just talking to a friend on the phone, but we can just see each other, and that's what is so great about the podcast shows. It's amazing how much more confidence we give people with doing these as well, because nearly everybody's like, Christ, I'm so nervous. What do I do? What's going to happen? It's like, just chill out. You're just talking to a mate on the phone. It's just that we can see each other. That's all. And again, you have done, like your partner said, well done, babe. You've done absolutely amazing, and you really have. You've done fantastic. And it's, and it's not hard to do them. They're great. I enjoy doing them. And they're brilliant. And it's just helping people to give them sort of recognition and finding out about people in the industry, which is what I love doing, and it's great. And it's all about.
When you messaged me, and I did a message Pete at Design by Detail, and I said, can I call you quickly? And he says, what's up? And I said, I've got a request to do the podcast. He says, mate, you'll be sound. You'll smash it. And he says, I said, what sort of questions? He says, they used to give questions out. He says, but now he says, just sort of go for it. He says, I says, how did you do yours? Did you do it on computer, phone, or anything? He says, I did it on my computer. He says, but I didn't realise we was recording it for YouTube. He says, until it went on. He says, I just thought I was talking in general, like to the camera.
No, we put them on YouTube as well, so we get double hit. Obviously, they're on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and all sorts of other. They're on Podbean, which is where we power it through for the actual podcast show. So it goes on to many different platforms. It's there's like, I think it's about 30 or different platforms that it gets shared to. That once we put it through Podbean, which is where we upload it, it goes onto Spotify, and then when you're through Podbean, it goes onto like 30 odd different platforms. So it gets to quite a good wide audience, and it helps a lot of people. So which is what's good about them. I mean, they're absolutely brilliant. So, and it's and we're making friends with people that we're getting and doing the podcast shows with, and we obviously have this one totally detailed, and we have the other one for the leather business totally leathered. And it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, obviously we always do them with Adam, my co-host with the detailing side, but he's so busy at the minute. He's hardly finding it time to get home, and he's just got to get home, and he just wants to sit down. He's so tired. He's just absolutely knackered, the poor bloke. So, that's why I'm doing again. I'm doing one tonight, so on my own. So it's just, Adam's just so busy at the moment, which is great,
fair play to him.
But you can only do so much, and that's the thing with it. And he's got kids at home, and mine have now gone, and they've sort of left home, both of them. And, so I've got more free time than what he's got at the moment. So with the kids growing up and things, so it's, it's a lot easier for me than it is him with the business, and just got new staff in, and, it's all, again, it all takes its toll, and it's the sort of trying to stay focused side of it as well, which is what we were talking about at the beginning. And, that's what he's got to do. And, it'll bounce around.
Since I started following you guys, is it Matt at Dark Horse Detailing?
Yeah.
I've started following him, and I even talk to him most days, or I respond to his. I love his interaction on the camera in the mornings.
Yeah, it's great.
I have got zero confidence in doing that. I'd love to be able to do it, but he's just there smashing it, and it's nice to get up in the morning. You come in, make a coffee, and he's already there, and he's already shared something, and it's a quick flick through, and it gives you a bit of motivation, really, to sort of get cracking.
That's it. That's what it's every morning. I mean, we get the odd people that take the whatnot out of me, because I take a photograph every morning. So the beach is 100 yards down the road for me. So no matter whether it's raining or sunny, I take a photograph. Most mornings I go for like a half a mile, or whatever run. And I'll take a photograph, of me on the beach, whether it's pitch black or not, or no matter where I am in the world. Like I was in Finland the other week, so I had photographs in Finland in the morning, went down to the hotel, went across to the park, bit of water behind me in the river. Good morning. Have a fabulous day, everybody. And everybody's like, I wake up just to see your photograph, to see what you're going to say today, because it gives me motivation for the rest of the day. And I see your smile, and it just makes me smile inside. And it just makes me so happy for the rest of the day. A simple little thing like that just makes so many people happy. And it costs me nothing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's, again, it's like a lot of people that I know that sort of have sort of suffered over the years, we keep in touch with them regularly, and there's one or two of them we keep in touch with, and they're like, I've met you once at your place, and that was like, you know, whatever, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Some of them are longer, and they're like, you message me without fail, every month without fail, or sometimes more frequently. And you're the only one that ever does it. Just to say, how are you today?
Yeah,
how are you feeling? How's the family? How's the kids? And they're like, and I don't even really know you. And I just met you once at an open day. And it's like, wow. And I'm like, but I remembered what you told me.
Yeah.
So you need somebody to check in on you to say, how are you doing today?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's what it's about, you know, and they do the same with me. They'll check in on me and they're like, hey, Rich, how you doing? You know, and it all helps, you know, and you sort of build this sort of network of helping people all the time. And that's what it's about, you know, and it's just about helping each other. And it's the same with the industry. It's like, you know, why I'm in the IDA. You know, it's a group to help each other grow. You know, you're not there to get self-glory, or, you know, you don't get work from it. You're there to learn from everybody, give people knowledge, and get knowledge from other people. And that's what I love about the IDA. There's none of this sort of tittle-tattling and backbiting and slagging everybody off and, you know, slating a product. You know, you're all there, you're helping each other, you know, and that's what's good about it.
Yeah, I do want to join the IDA. It's something I'll look into in the new year. I just want to get sort of this sort of more finished in here, definitely. And then look in next year doing it.
Definitely do it before the dollar gets better anyway. So, because at the moment the dollar's quite weak, so it's actually quite cheap for us in England. So it's actually works out quite cheap. So, but I mean, obviously Craig Brigham is the guy who's the IDA UK president, so you can have a word with him or just go on the website and just join. So, but I
think Jordan's on about. He was on about letting me join in one of the Wednesday night catch-ups or something where you can non-members can go. So
non-members can go on it. You don't need to be an IDA member to go on it. They're once a month now. They used to be once every week, every fortnight, but they're once a month now. I'm not sure when the next one is. They've only just had one last week or the week before, so it's a few more weeks for another one yet. I'll get the link and I'll send you it.
Great.
But they're free to go on. You can just come on and listen, see what goes on. They discuss everything on them. It's absolutely brilliant. You know, they're a good learning sort of source of information. So the IDA sort of meets are really fantastic. We're talking about everything, you know, how to detail cars, right through to insurance, types of ramps, setups, how to set it up, legal things, you know, everything you can think of is discussed. Health and safety, you know, absolutely anything and everything is discussed on there. And they're a great sort of source of information, you know, which is what I love about them. And you learn so much. And I'm, you know, after 30 odd years of being in business, I'm learning from guys that are like in their 20s and 30s sort of thing, you know, that have only just started in business, some of them, and I'm learning from them, and it is brilliant. So, you know, it's good. We all learn from each other, which is what it's all about. It's really good.
Exactly. I've got a nice group of people that I can sort of call up if I need to. I recently did a Sierra Cosworth, and the paint was giving me so much pain. Spoke to three guys, and they all gave me sort of tips and what to do, and sort of got it going in the end of what I wanted to achieve, how I wanted to achieve it. So it was nice that they weren't bothered that I asked, kind of thing, because they were there just to sort of no, we're here for just, if you need any help, just let us know. That's you do need it. You're sort of learning all the time. It's
you're learning all the time, and it's like I always say to people, it's don't ever be shy to ask a question. You know, no question's stupid. The only question that is stupid is not asking it. That's the only question that's stupid, is not asking it, because you're alone then, and it can easily go wrong. Don't be the fool, and don't ask that question. Ask the question, you'll get the help, and don't be shy, because you'll be surprised how many people will help you once you've asked that question. And that's what I love about the IDA. It's not like this sort of groups on Facebook, which is what most, you know, the majority of them are left just purely and simply because it's the sort of repetitive thing. 10 times a day they're asking what's the best this, what's the best that, and they're just not looking at and using the search button, you know, and it's just and you get the same silly answers all the time, and the same backbiting, and the same idiotic replies, you know, and it's just like, grow up, you know, just these guys want help, not to be belittled and made to look like idiots, you know, and they don't realize that again affects them, you know, with what they're doing. And it puts people off running a business as well if they're looking at starting a business. So, you know, it doesn't really help. And that's the one thing with the IDA that I love. You don't get any of that stupidity in there. It's brilliant.
I've got a customer that came to me, and then he ended up coming out of his old job, and he set up on his own. He sort of got a passion for it, and he set up on his own.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see. But it's like I'd rather help people. I'd rather like talk. I've got competition, not locally, but that I talk to were mates. I even like there's a mobile guy, and I let him come down sometimes, and he borrows a bit of space. If he's struggling, if he's got a customer closer to me than sort of him, and he'll say, "Can I bring it up and do it?"
Yeah.
And there's a young girl that I used to see on the pages, and I realised that she was only living around the corner, and she was asking all these questions and stuff. And I said to her, "Look, I've got a unit. I'm around the corner. It's Matt." I says, "Come round, bring your car. I'll let you have a go on some of the machines."
Yeah.
I says, "Before you buy one," I says, "at least you can try some."
Yeah.
And she popped round. She had a quick go on the machines, and she was amazing. She was, "Oh, brilliant! I love it." I says, "Well, look," I says, "a few weeks' time," I says, "if you prep your car at home," I says, "and literally drive it round, I'll give you some space in the unit. I'll chuck you a machine." I says, "I'll be here." I says, "I'll give you my compound, pads, cloths." I says, "and have a go at machining it."
Yeah.
And she did it over a couple of days, and she loved it. She actually loved it. Yeah. And so she went off, and then she collected it on the day and drove off. She was well happy. And it's nice. She even still texts me now, "What pre-wash are you using? Using this stuff. What do you recommend?" And that. So
that's sort of with the training. I mean, we get people that are quite close to us that we train, and we've always said to them. I mean, we've got Rich who we've trained, and he's quite close to us, and we've always said, if you're actually in my area, because he does a lot of his work mobile, if you're really near the unit and it starts to pour it down with rain, get the client to bring the car to the unit. It's there. It's free to use. Just pop in and use it. Just tell me when you're coming. And if I've got a space, it's free to use. Just use it. And that's what it's about. It's just helping people. And these guys are all competitors of mine with the detailing and the leather side of it. And we're just helping them. I mean, everybody we train, because we've got franchises around the country, every single person we train is a competitor. But we still help them all just like we help everybody, and that's what it's about. You just got to help people, and because we're all learning. I can learn.
Yeah, definitely.
Me.
There's a guy who comes, and he was sort of doing some valets on the front at the shops at the front, and he'd been doing them for years. And I weren't interested in trying to get that business because it was his sort of regulars. And he used to pop in and come and have his dinner. He used to come and sit in and chat and how you getting on and stuff like that. And it was like, I've got my own customers. He's got his, and why can't we just get on and help?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Instead of like sort of defriending you and sort of blocking you and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, my machine's bigger than your machine. Yeah, it's crazy. And it does happen, unfortunately. It's just one of those very silly sort of trivial things that people think, oh, he's encroaching on my territory. And it's just don't go into the ice cream world. It's even worse. They literally shoot you. If you steal an ice cream round, I tell you, Christ alive, it's even worse. So, I mean, with the business, where are you going with the business? What do you see what's the future?
At the moment, I want to master what I'm doing. I want to create these. I'm trying to create 2 booths in the business. So one's the correction and coat. So I've got the ramp here. We've got the walls white. We've got the lighting. Do the corrections, the coatings, and everything like that. And then when this vehicle's finished, I want next door to be sort of like a handover bay. So I can move it out. If the car's been coated and it needs overnight, I can then move it, put it into the other bay. I want that as like a clean area, nice, just lighting, and the people can come in. The angle that they're coming through the door, they can then see straight away to see their car.
Yeah.
And then while that's doing that, I want it sort of behind, sort of doors. So it's like either like a sheeted, like a paint shop door, like the plastic UPVC doorway, something like that, just to keep the dust down on it.
Sure.
And then another car can be then put on the sort of operating table.
Yep.
Because at the moment, if the car's having to stay in and I don't like having the door up and working on another car. Because the fear of the dust is going to land on it. Say if they can't pick it up till 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. It's sort of like puts you sort of on edge a bit, because you want it to sort of be pristine for when they come. And I just want to have that separation, sort of, so I can like be in here, and then if I've got a valet to do or something, or a maintenance wash,
crack on.
Just sort of come out from behind the curtains and crack on with something. Door can be up, and it's not a problem.
Just confining the car in its sort of, in its sort of theatre almost. I like that.
That's the next thing I want to do. And then I want to go on sort of more. I would like to do like more machine polishing courses to learn a bit more about like the wet sanding and stuff like that. Because I have sort of self-taught, but when I do follow people and I do take advice from people, I see it's from people who are really successful. So I sort of tend to look at them and see what they're doing and how they're going about it, and sort of tips and tricks, and and speaking just with friends in the game sort of thing as well. Forever, I've got a friend who does paintwork, and he does a lot of fiberglass painting. So I was like, this TVR's come in, it's fiberglass. He was like saying, just got to be careful, can get hot, you can separate it, it's just be care. And he was just nice tips, instead of me just going, no, I'm not telling you nothing.
Like Pete and Jordan, you're talking, like with Pete and Jordan getting advice, you're talking about guys there that are very knowledgeable, very well respected. They're up at the top end of their game. They're absolutely brilliant. You couldn't have asked for two better guys to be associated with, to get information from, to learn from, so you've got two great guys there that will help you grow your business and learn so much from, that's what you need, is people like Pete and Jordan and the guys like that behind to help, that you can play on for information. And they're two great guys that you could get things from, that are very, very well respected, very knowledgeable people.
That's it, because it's nice to see what other people do in their areas, and how they sort of present themselves as well. So you see that they're doing well, and you think, I like that. That's nice. That is, and you sort of try and bring it into your own sort of in your own little twist kind of thing.
Exactly.
I've just started doing like reels on Instagram. Never done them before. I tried to do them before the divider was up in the unit, and I just hated like doing a certain angle, and I saw something in the background, and I was like, I don't like that.
Don't like it.
No, delete that one, and then crack on and do another one. I'll wait till it goes outside or something like that. But I've just fortunate. I've got some really good friends that have helped me. I've got a guy, Brian, who comes down, does some photos. Andy, my mate, he does some pictures now and again, and my nephew now and again. So it's great to have them people. I do need to learn how to take better photos myself. But that again is an art form.
Oh, it is. I know we always take photos and we'll send them through to our guys, and they're like, Rich, why have you taken it like that? You took it like this. And I'm like, I thought that looked cool, but no, it looks okay, but this is cool. And I'm like, well, I don't think that looks all right, but no, that looks really cool like that. And I'm like, well, I'll try to remember next time. And then you get another cracking job, and they're like, Rich, you've done it again. And I'm like, I just do what I do. I'm not a photographer,
When I did my website photos, I had a guy a local guy, Luke Dillon Photography. He came down and he looked at the unit, and I says, come down there like the day before and just spec it out, make sure, or the week before, make sure the lighting's right, you can work with what I've got. And I said, I want some photos of the cars. On my cover photo on Facebook, you'll see like a Ferrari and a Volkswagen Passat. And he picked them colours on the cars. He says, I don't want a black car. He says, a black car's not there to photograph. He says, you need something colourful. So I reached out to a couple of customers, and one I got, he got 2 355s, and he dropped one down. And the other one had a brand new Volkswagen. So we just sort of set them up to do sort of shots on it. And he came down, he spent the day down here, and he was just shooting away. He was. And then my website man came along at the same time, and they were just sort of picking what shots they wanted to do. And but it was hard because we was here till about 1 o'clock in the morning with the kids, doing some painting, boarding up some walls and stuff, just so it looked great. And then I came in the next day and I was all unshaven. He's like, right, I need some portrait shots of you. And I was like, what? No. And I was like, so he took some shots, and then I said to the website man, can you do like Photoshop my face a little bit thinner?
Aye.
So, and now I've lost the weight. My website man is going to come back down and do some other shots to replace them. It's just awful. Yeah.
It's always the case. I mean, we've done that many a time when it's like, can we get some? And I'm like, you didn't tell me you were going to do a video or photograph me today. I thought you just come in to talk to me. And it's like, Jesus Christ, I've not shaved or done nothing.
Yeah.
It's always very off-putting when they do that and put you on the spot. That's for sure. So, closing question. We always ask this question. Puts people right on the spot. People find it quite hard, but they do find the answer in the end. If there's something you could have told yourself, one piece of information when you first started that you now know, what would it be?
Wow. If it was back when I was doing the leaving school and everything, I would have said, go for your dreams quicker, go for a job or do something quicker, go for something that you wanted to do first.
Yeah.
Don't just take a job for the sake of it and then regret it in 20 odd years.
Yeah.
Try and push for that. But going into the detailing and setting up, oh God. It'd probably be get a decent camera. Really, something like that, just to get them photos across.
Yeah.
I went for a couple of years on one contract with one phone, and I hated it. Hated taking photos, and people asked, "Well, why you put no photos on?" And I'm like, "Oh, they don't look horrible."
Yeah.
Bit of a rubbish answer, but it's sort of, it's to try and get the customers in. You've got to sort of present yourself well.
Exactly.
And the photos do speak, and some of the photos I look back on at the beginning, I think, oh God, why did I take that?
Yeah.
And why have I got that in the reflection and stuff? And it was like sort of, I'd say sort of get your presentation correct.
Yeah.
And get your. I struggled a lot at the beginning with the wording and everything. I went to a website company, and they says, look, we'll get our proofreader to read it all. Paid him some money. I sent them what I wanted. They rewrote it out how it should sound. At that time, I had a customer, a potential customer turn up who became a friend, Brian, another Brian. And he told me that him and his wife are proofreaders. That's what they do for a living. When the website guy sent me through saying, we've got it all, we've done it all. He says, proofreader's done it, he's checked it all off. He says, we'll send you a copy over. He says, just once you've read it, happy, we'll get it on. And then Brian says, send me a copy. So I forwarded it him, and he goes, whoa. He says, no. He says, it's totally wrong. Everything's wrong on it. So then it took another 18 months then.
Oh my God.
I was that busy, and I just didn't get the time to sit down to it. And then a guy I used to work with, he was a buyer at the company I worked for. He was buying all the stainless steel in. And then he created a sort of a business. He was doing business cards and doing his own sort of thing. And he sort of set up on his own. And I went to him, and he says, I can do your website. So he come down, and he's on the end of the phone if I need him. I can always text him, and he can tweak bits and do things if I have a problem with it. So,
it's what you need, really, isn't it?
It's sort of all helping each other, isn't it, really?
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Even coming down to see you. I've met you at Waxstock years and years ago. You probably don't remember. And I was up in Hull, and I said to my missus, I said, I really want to go and see his flooring and see his unit. I'm going to drop him a cheeky text while I'm up there, see what he says. And he says, come on down.
Exactly.
Me and my lad came down, and we loved it. And it was nice. No, nice little.
It was good. It was good meeting you. So definitely. Even though we'd seen at Waxstock, it was good to sort of, you see that many people when you're at a building like that, you just sort of forget who you're seeing. It's it's just amazing how you sort of forget the amount of people. It's like, when I was there, I just can't even remember everybody that I saw. It's just amazing how you just sort of forget everybody that you sort of seen at the time. And you're in your area, just pop down. It's Kettle's or whatever, and You know, we're always there, and you know, even if we're running a course, you know, I'll still be able to get a few minutes just to come and see somebody. You know, just to
say
hello, because I can get somebody else looking after them while I come and see somebody. So it's always, you know, it's always nice to sort of see somebody. You've made the effort. Why not? You know, I'm not going to say no. It's, you know,
that's it.
So it's good. So obviously, social medias, websites, what are they? How do people find you?
Myson Detailing. www.mysondetailing.co.uk for the website. Facebook is Myson Detailing, Instagram same. And just find me on there. I've not posted for a while. Been that busy with some vehicles and stuff, so but there's some old content on there from a few weeks back. Like this, the last one I think was the Sierra Cosworth we did. It's a little reel on there. Still got to upload some photos of that.
Yep.
But again, it's the it's doing it, going home. Kids want to see you.
Exactly. Yeah.
You've got to get off your phone and that.
Yeah. So, right. Balanced life of family and business. Yeah. Definitely. Good.
But no, thanks for having me on.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure. So thank you very much. It's been fantastic having you on, I must admit. Matt, it's been absolutely brilliant. So that is Matt Green from Myson Detailing. So thank you very much. That is another episode of Totally Detailed. Thank you very much, Matt. Been much appreciated.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.